America's best-selling truck, the symbol of reliability, toughness, and American pride. For decades, the Ford F-150 has been more than just a pickup. It's been a cultural icon. But now, that legend is cracking. Behind the glossy commercials and built Ford tough slogans lies a dark truth: catastrophic engine failures, fire hazards, and a betrayal of trust that's leaving drivers stranded, financially ruined, and furious. Today, we're diving deep into the Ford F-150 engine scandal. What went wrong, how Ford responded, and why this is shaping up to be one of the biggest automotive scandals in recent memory. And by the end of this video, you'll see why critics are calling it not just a recall, but a crisis that exposes cracks across the entire auto industry. It all started with whispers in owner forums, drivers posting about strange stalls, rattling noises, and sudden engine shutdowns. At first, many brushed it off. It's just a bad batch, probably maintenance issues. But soon the stories piled up, and the failures were catastrophic. The heart of the issue? Ford's EcoBoost engines. Designed to balance power and efficiency, these turbocharged motors were marketed as the future of Ford trucks. But deep inside the engine block, intake valves began failing. Instead of lasting hundreds of thousands of miles, some broke down in as little as 10,000 miles. And when those valves fractured, disaster struck. Pistons shattered, engines seized, and trucks that once felt unstoppable turned into 5,000-pound dead weights right in the middle of highways. Families towing trailers, workers hauling equipment, even parents driving kids to school, suddenly left fighting to control a lifeless vehicle. Imagine cruising down the interstate at 70 miles per hour. Suddenly, without warning, your truck sputters, the engine dies, your steering stiffens, the brakes feel heavy. Behind you, semi-trucks barrel forward at deadly speeds. This isn't a nightmare scenario. It's reality for countless F-150 owners. And when a truck this size loses power, the danger multiplies. We're not talking about a sedan rolling to a stop. We're talking about a massive vehicle with momentum, often towing thousands of extra pounds, suddenly coasting without control. Drivers have shared terrifying near-death experiences. One owner's F-150 shut down while merging onto a busy highway, forcing them to wrestle the wheel as horns blared. Another lost power while hauling a horse trailer, praying momentum would be enough to get them off the road before being rear-ended. These aren't minor inconveniences. They're mechanical failures that put lives at risk, not just for the driver, but for every single person sharing the road. But the story doesn't stop at safety. The financial fallout has been brutal. Buying a Ford F-150 isn't cheap. We're talking $30,000 to $60,000 investments. Yet owners who expected years of dependable service instead found themselves with repair bills climbing into the thousands. When a valve shatters, when a piston explodes, repairs often mean a full engine replacement. That's not just expensive, that's devastating. And Ford's warranty coverage? It's been a battleground. Many owners report being denied coverage because their failure happened just outside the mileage limit. Others waited weeks or months just for replacement parts to arrive. In the meantime, their trucks sat useless, while the bank still demanded payments. Resale value plummeted. Dealers are hesitant to take in these trucks, and private buyers either walk away or demand deep discounts. Families who thought they were making a smart, long-term investment are now stuck with stranded assets, worth less and costing more. So, how did Ford react? After mounting pressure, the company finally issued recalls, covering hundreds of thousands of vehicles. Letters went out urging owners to bring their trucks in for inspection. Official statements emphasized Ford's commitment to safety and described the issue as limited. But was that the full truth? Critics argue Ford acted far too slowly. Complaints had been stacking up for years before recalls were announced. And even when repairs were offered, many were temporary fixes, not permanent solutions. Some mechanics even admitted they were instructed to replace only certain components, patching symptoms instead of addressing the root cause. Meanwhile, owners who had already paid for expensive repairs were told reimbursement would take time, if it came at all. To many, Ford's response felt less like accountability and more like damage control. Here's where things get worse. The valve failures? just the beginning. Soon after, another defect surfaced: fuel pump module failures. These faulty components caused engines to stall without warning, once again leaving drivers stranded in dangerous situations. And then came the fire hazard. Investigators discovered that misaligned engine cup plugs could cause oil leaks directly onto hot surfaces. The result? Trucks bursting into flames. Videos began circulating online of F-150s pulled over on the side of the road, engulfed in fire, proud trucks reduced to charred shells, families barely escaping before flames consumed the cabin. Each new failure wasn't just an isolated incident. It painted a picture of systemic problems: gaps in testing, oversight, and quality control. Industry analysts started connecting the dots. One defect might be bad luck, but multiple back-to-back life-threatening recalls? That's a pattern. Many pointed to Ford's rush to modernize, pivoting to EVs, retooling plants, and chasing aggressive production deadlines. In that race, corners may have been cut. Parts were pushed out by suppliers under pressure. Vehicles were shipped before engineers could fully verify every fix. The result? Engines stalling, trucks catching fire, and Ford's legendary reputation for toughness now replaced with doubt. It didn't take long for lawsuits to pile up. Class actions accused Ford of knowingly selling defective vehicles. Regulators launched investigations, and eventually, Ford executives found themselves dragged into congressional hearings, grilled on live TV about why these problems weren't caught earlier. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, began demanding stricter oversight, threatening heavier fines and stricter penalties. Consumer rights groups rallied behind angry owners, demanding stronger protections and even expanded lemon laws. And the ripple effects? Massive. Dealerships were overwhelmed with backlogs and furious customers, many without loaner vehicles. Used truck markets collapsed. Buyers didn't want to risk inheriting a defective engine. Wall Street took notice. Ford stock dipped with every new recall announcement. Factory workers faced low morale, long overtime hours, and growing resentment toward management. This wasn't just a Ford problem anymore. It was reshaping the auto industry, the economy, and consumer trust. Meanwhile, Ford's rivals seized the opportunity. Chevrolet highlighted Silverado's durability. Ram doubled down on comfort and reliability. Toyota leaned into its reputation for long-term dependability, and it worked. Dealers for these brands reported surges in test drives and sales, often from frustrated Ford owners looking for alternatives. Ford's stumble became their golden opportunity. So what's the lesson here? If the Ford F-150, America's most celebrated truck, can fail this catastrophically, what does that mean for the rest of the industry? It means reliability can't be taken for granted. It means flashy innovation and marketing mean nothing without rock-solid quality control. And as we shift into an era of electric trucks, self-driving cars, and new tech, trust will matter more than ever. The Ford F-150 scandal isn't just about broken engines. It's about broken promises, and it serves as a warning to automakers, to regulators, and to consumers that trust, once lost, is almost impossible to rebuild. They said the Ford F-150 was unbreakable, but now we know. Even legends can crack. This story isn't over. More lawsuits, more recalls, and more revelations are on the horizon. So stay tuned, stay questioning, and don't accept the surface answer. Because when it comes to your safety, your money, and your trust, the truth always runs deeper.